Alright, hello. In this video we're going to be talking about spheres and volumes of a sphere. Now if you're wondering what a sphere is, it is basically a three-dimensional object that is completely round. It's almost like they took a circle and they made it into a 3D shape. Pretend there was a circle right here in the middle and they was able to spin it around to make a three-dimensional shape. We see spheres in everyday life. When you ever think of any athletic sport, use some kind of ball, basketball, golf ball, tennis ball, those are examples of spheres, completely round, three-dimensional. When it comes to finding the volume of a sphere, well, we need a formula for it. If you know the area of a circle, pi r squared, it reminds you of that, but there's another added dimension to it. The volume of a sphere has this formula here: 4/3 times pi, we know pi to be 3.14 estimated, times the radius to the third power, radius cubed. We can find the volume of any sphere in any measurement we want if we apply this formula. Let's do a couple of quick examples and show this in action. So this question is asking for what's the exact volume? What is the exact volume? And then when we talk about exact, we want to leave pi in our answer. And sometimes it may leave it as a fraction. Usually, sometimes we can have a decimal with that, just depending on how it works. So notice this sphere here. It looks like they give us the radius, 12.3 centimeters. So setting that up, the volume would be, there's our 4/3. Now we're going to leave pi in there. Let me insert that character for pi. And then the radius, 12.3. We're going to cube that. Alright, so putting this in the calculator, except for pi, we're going to leave pi in there. If we take 12.3 times itself 3 times, and then times 4/3, that will give us an answer of 2,481.156. And again, we're going to leave that pi symbol in there. Let's copy and paste that over. And notice we're dealing with centimeters, so I'm calling this centimeters cubed. So that's a very accurate way to say the answer for the volume of this sphere. We left pi in there. Now in this next example, we're going to use 3.1 for pi. And that'll give us an approximate volume. And we may have to round depending on what the calculator says. So applying our formula again, we get the 4/3 times pi times r cubed. In this case, the radius is 6 from the picture there. Let's see how this turns out. V equals, use 4/3 pi. Now I'm going to put 3.14 in like it says to do. That's an approximation. And then the radius is 6, and we are cubing that radius. 6 times 6 times 6. Alright, and I'm going to break this down a little bit more step by step so you can kind of see the numbers evolve here. Okay, we're first going to do the 4/3 times 3.14. I'm going to do 3.14 in the calculator. I'm going to multiply by 4 and then divide by 3. Okay, and then that's going to give us a 4.186, and it repeats, it goes on and on and on. Then I still have to also do the 6 to the third power. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. Alright, and then finally, if we take the 216, multiply it times the 4.18666666 repeating. I think we got 904.31, it goes on and on and on. We'll round it to 2 decimal places. I know those problems that you work on usually say what to round it to, and it's usually the hundreds place. 904.32 centimeters cubed. Make that a superscript there. There we go. And that's how we can approximate the volume if we use 3.14 for pi instead of the actual pi symbol. There you go. After watching this, hopefully you understand how to apply the formula for the volume of a sphere.